And today I'm going to be showing you how to solve the problem of the week, squares, squares, and more squares.
Want me to zoom in?
So, the first question is asking you, how many total squares do you see? The diagram shows a 6 by 6 square, The easiest way I found to do it was to look at all types of squares that you see. So you may look for the 1 by 1 squares, which are squares that are just one unit, the 2 by 2 squares, which are the ones that go 2 across and 2 down, and so on and so forth until you get to the 3 by 3s, the 4 by 4s, and then finally the 6 by 6. So there's a total of one 6 by 6 square, which is the whole part, and 5 by 5s, you go across 5 and down 5, and you look at all the squares that are that shape. And you can go for the ones on the side, the ones that are this way, downwards, and to the other side, and you will see that there are 14. And for 4 by 4, it's 4 across and 4 down. So you look for all squares that look like that, and you will see that there are 27. And then for the 3 by 3s, there are 3 across, 3 down. You look for all squares that look like that, and you find there are 64. For 2 by 2s, 2 across, 2 down. You look for all the squares that look like that, and you find that there are 30. And the 1 by 1s, you can just say 6 times 6, which is 36. Now the next question is asking you to provide a valid argument as to how you know your response to number 1 is correct. So your response would be to adding up all of these. So you would have to add 36, 30, 64, 27, 14, and 1. So 6 and 0 is 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 7 is 17. 17 plus 4 is 21, and 21 plus 1 is 22. Put the 2 there, carry the other 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 11. 11 plus 6 is 17. 17. Let's start over. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 plus 2 is 16. And 16 plus 1 is 17. So there are a total of 172 squares. And your answer for number 2 is just explaining how you got 172 squares. So you look for the different dimensions that are within the 6 by 6 squares. You count how many of each of those dimensions there are, and then you add all of the dimensions that you got together to get 172 as your answer. And then for number 3 is asking you to predict how many total squares will be in a 12 by 12 figure. So 12 by 12 is twice as much as 6 by 6. So basically you would just have to either multiply 172 by 2 or add 172 to 172, and you would get your answer. 344 squares in a 12 by 12 square. Now on to number 4. Number 4 says to please provide a valid argument as to how you know your response to number 3 is correct. So number 3 was 344, And the way you got that was because for number 1, you saw that there were a total of 172 squares. And they're asking for a 12 by 12 figure. And 12 by 12 is twice as much as 6 by 6. So you just have to multiply 172 by 2 or add it to itself to get 344 as your answer. Now number 5 is asking, in a 12 by 12 square, how many of those total squares would be gray? Now in the diagram, there are half as many squares that are gray and white. So by just dividing 172 by 2, you would get 8, 16, 1, carry down the 2, 2 goes into 12, 6 times, and you get 86 total gray squares for a 6 by 6 figure. And then you could either multiply that by 2 or divide 344 by 2. 2 goes into 3 once. 2 minus 3 minus 2, 1, carry down to 4. 2 goes into 14 7 times. 14 minus 14 is 0, bring down the 4. 2 goes into 4 2 times. So it would be 172 total gray squares in a 12 by 12 figure. And finally for number 6 is asking you to explain how you know number 5 is correct. So in the figure that they gave you originally, there was a half amount of gray squares to white squares. And half of 172 is 86. And since they're asking for how many gray squares would be in a 12 by 12 figure, you would basically have to just divide 344 by 2 to get the total amount of gray squares in the 12 by 12 figure. I hope this helped you all. Thank you for watching.